Alright, what's up everybody? My name is KyFy. It's good to see you again. I'm glad you could be here. I have a great reading today. I'm sure you see the title, The Divine Masculine versus the Divine Feminine. So I'm sure everybody's interested in what he or she is doing right now and what he or she has done to you, right? But understand that this is about self-development. And when you balance the energy in between yourself, it offers you the opportunity, the other person the opportunity to learn how to balance themselves too, or creates the space for them to be able to do that. So understand that in balance is the key to this whole next reading. Now we understand that these are energies and not necessarily gender. So these are energies within us. So this is the reading about that, how you balance the energies in between yourself. Now, if you know ZinFinity, you know that it's a structure that I created and I'm exposing to the world, basically the conscious community, the tarot community, anybody who will understand what this is, offer a chance, to experience it firsthand through a reading. But I realized that I wasn't the standard reader. I realized that God has given me ideas to just talk about, and I'll do that with cards every time. And so happens today, I have a different way to show, a different way to basically do the whole reading. I was thinking about it, it just came to me, and it's kind of completely backwards for what you should know already. So we'll get to it. Now, when it comes up to you versus them, guy versus girl, right? I want you to understand one thing. It's you versus yourself and a part of you that allows it to happen. So when you think about it, it's a self journey to learn where your boundaries are, what you will and will not allow happen in your life, and the people who come in that space, your new space or your old space, right? However you see it, and occupy and help you achieve a certain balance in your life too. Basically your village and what they do with you. So we'll get to that in a little bit. But first, I want to talk about the first part of the reading, which is, it has the same struck names, but it runs differently. So the first part of the reading is the Viscera Vitalis, and it goes like this. I'm going to lay the cards out. I'm sure you see ZinFinity right now. If you like what you see, throw a shout out. If something here resonates with you, leave a comment in the description. I would like you to like and share this video with your favorite people, your community, your channel. If you have any pages you're connected to, I'm sure they could benefit off of this, This information is for all, but when I get a chance to build it for you, the readers and the readees, right? It will be something that will transform this world. And I had a dream about it. The first dream I ever had about what I created here. And it really set me off because I barely saw anything. But what I did see was me explaining this to somebody who was on a computer. And that's all I can remember, really. I was in a place, there was a computer, and I was pointing at it. And I was just like, I woke up and I told God, I said, I don't know what I got to do to get there, but I want to get there. So here we are again. Going into the first part of the reading, Viscera Vitalis. This talks about the gut, basically the gut health. So if you're in a relationship and this is what you came for, to get a perspective of what's happening on the other side, or at least the other side of you that you haven't figured out yet, right? If you came for those messages, I'm glad you came, because it's gonna get real specific. And what do I mean by that? When you think of the gut health, you understand that whatever you put in your body, your gut health responds to it, and it kind of protects you, right? So, but if it's off, it affects how your body operates. It doesn't have what it needs to operate, or it has too much, and it needs to do certain things to flush things out. You understand, right? So, what is the gut health of your relationship or your relationship with yourself? So let's get into that. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to shuffle real quick. I decided to do reversals because I know if you've been following me, you will recognize and realize basically that I wasn't ready for it. And I realized that there are some times when I watch myself doing videos, I realize what I needed to say after the fact. So how about I just let it happen before the fact? See what comes out. So you can't be scared of everything. So whoever's scared of doing the thing that comes natural to them when it's concerning relationships, don't be scared, because if they don't accept it, then they're not accepting the part of you that you're willing to let out into the world. It should be safe with them. It should be safe with them. So if they're not balanced in themselves enough to understand that you need that space to grow, then it's going to be, hard to do, to learn what you need to do for the other person. Or in this fact, like if you're a divine masculine in the play, it's going to be hard to figure out what you need to do for yourself of the divine feminine nature when the woman in this respect is not allowing you the space to express. How should I say? See, I didn't even draw any cards. I saw the Ace of Cups. Let me continue. Basically, you need the space to learn. And if you don't have the space to learn, you'll just be stagnant. So let's start with these two cards. This almost flew out. This is what I want to do. How I want to start off the reading now. How I was guided to start it off. It's like this. So I'm going to get the energies that are at play right now. There are 4 domains on the tree of life, right? You have the domain of the soul, which is absolute, the world of emanation, which is doubled by the crown space, right? Understand that the soul is this triangle, and this is where it resides, right? So we have the strength card for that place. The next world or domain is Bariya, which is the world of creation, right? And that comes in the form of the divine feminine, right? Where the creation comes from. Or you can call it magnetic energy, right? The energy of attraction, right? So that runs on this side where you see the water here. It gets a little, it gets cooler when you keep looking at it. The next world or domain, you can call it, is the world of formation, which is Yetzirah, right? And that runs on this side, the space of the air. But, this is the mind, the spirit, the mind, right? And then lastly, these two somehow created the body, right? And the body is represented by Asiya, or the world of manifestation. So as I got into it, I realized where all the major arcana is on this board. And when the app comes out, it's gonna expose the literal path for us. So let's continue. From the soul, you have the strength. And I did say it was these first 2 cards. So, wow, King of Cups. Okay, so let me keep shuffling and see what I get out of here. So, that's a great place to be mentally. Why? Because you have your emotions in check. You got it all in one cup. So it's like going from, you're able to use your emotions. So what does this mean when it comes to divine masculine and feminine? I'll need more cards. Let me see what the mind says. So Okay. A lot of stagnant energy, even though it's balanced right now. The strength card is a fire card, so that's a perfect card to have in that location. So why is it stagnant energy? Let's just draw it, because sometimes you just need to take action. There's war going on. Okay, so in the mind holds the ego. The mind holds the consciousness of ego. Let me just say that right there. Or another way you can say it, the ego uses the power of the mind to operate in your life, either with you or without you, right? So both of the egos right now, the Chariot is a water card, and this is supposed to be air, right? You can understand that emotions between these two energies, the masculine and feminine, are at war, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. In alchemy in general, you must mix. So this is just a process. You guys are mixing energies, and luckily or not, y'all are there still dealing with it, or recognizing where it can go and still dealing with it, right? But you got to take it how it resonates, because everybody's situation is different. But let me move on to the body. Okay. Oh, okay. I'm not even sure which way this came out, so I'm gonna just throw it like this and finish it. So, upright, right? Hope that was fair. Cause I didn't even decide it. I saw what came out, and I was trying to see if it was upright or downright. It fell, right? So I'm gonna try to do that every time. This is the 9 of Swords, right? Air and earth, they're opposites, right? And one doesn't occupy each other's space. So the air over time with mountains will actually break off the mountain and move mountains. Over a long period of time, the mountain will move due to the air, along with its own, shifting of the plate. So understand this. This war in the mind between you guys is stopping your manifestation. But it's almost finished, because you guys got 9, let's just say, levels of the energy out. But we'll get to it later. We're going to start going into what. This is how I know I needed to take a pause real quick. Next, what I would like to do is finish off the drawing of these cards, but come down the tree of life, going from Kether to Malkut. So this is Malkut and this is Kether. Well, we got to go around. Well, we got to go in order down the line of attachment to find out where you guys, or where you and your spirit can, have a union. Put it that way. What makes you and this other person connect? What is the mental foundation? Although this war is happening, there is a mental foundation that allows it to keep taking place, because you guys believe in something. Now, it couldn't, when you think about love, my last video explains it in greater detail, but I can shorten it down right now. So, in my last video, I talked about love, and how love is not in fact what you think it is. Like, oh, I love this person. Right? Love is in fact movement in your life. So love is a force, right? It's the only force. It was the first force. For God so loved the world, he gave his only begotten son, right? So when God split, let me say it this way. In the creation story, we all know that there was a one unity, right? A one unity that split into duality, right? That energy wants to be with itself again, but it's locked over here, and the only way it has to really commingle with each other is through us. We are the divine beings that live this, you can call it a war. You can call it a dance, right? We live this dance out between the energies. And we are a living representation of what these energies are doing or what they did before. You know, time is relative. But the heart chakra is known for love, and that is with the air. So if this place is the place of money, right? In this world economy. But also, this is the place of love. But I'm telling you now that movement and attraction and actions that you do actually is the love that's in this world. Money is not the love. It's the movement. I can say something to somebody and it'll help their day, you know? You can say something to somebody that will either brighten their day or make them feel worse about their day and cause them to be more stagnant, right? You have this ability. What are you doing daily in your life that's causing you or this other person to be more stagnant? What are the emotions that keep happening? What is the war about? What do you actually want? Now, when it comes up to love, that's movement. So when you understand an energetic grid, right? This is what this grid is about. This right here was the field. These 4 cards are the field. The rest of these cards is the grid and the points of the grid. So when they line up correctly, you have good movement. You know, you understand that the flow is not blocked. So understand that idea when you understand love is that flow. Generally, right? When you have more movement in your life, it will be like God is working in your life. Oh, this is happening. Oh, this is happening. Oh, this is happening. God loves me, right? You're moving. But when you're stagnant, you be like, you know what? I only hope. You know, I'm sitting here waiting. I don't know. This is not even about love right now. This is about balance. So, let me move on with this. But you can understand how the grid works. And, oh, okay. We need to know the players. The 2 players run here. Alright. Page of Swords reversed. Okay. Now, that flew out before I had a chance to explain it. These 3 spaces right here are parts of your soul, right? When I said this is the domain of the soul, right? So, up here is the superconscious. But we're not going to get to that yet. I just wanted to say it. Over here is the ego, right? And over here is the id, or let's just say the spiritual characteristics that the ego uses. But that's how they mingle with each other. But right now, although this energy is correct, meaning if you understand my videos already, if you understand this board, air and water to desire. Anything in this space can be air and water, and it's legal. Although this energy is correct, it's reversed, and we're gonna find out what that means. But this is what's guiding your spiritual energy. The Page of Swords reversed. So, getting to the ego, I'm sure it's gonna be something. I guess that's. I'm sure it's gonna be something. I just need to wait. 2 cards came out, so I'm not gonna do that. I'll wait. 1 card. Okay. The 2 of Pentacles. Now, this is also the correct energy to have in this place because you can use it. Now, if this was water in your fire place, you understand that if you have water on your match, it won't burn, right? You don't have no movement when there's too many emotions on the side of your mental energy. You don't have movement because you need to just handle it, right? So, what is the back and forth energy of you and your partner, or you between yourself, that constantly have you in this war with your mind, that tells you, your spirit, you can't actually think it out? What is going on with the ego that's telling you that you can't work it out yourself? That's what I'm getting right now. But it seems like you have your emotions under control. So what is actually control right now is that mental balance. So let's get down to it. So these are the 2 players these are the 2 players right now. So for the masculine energy, female and male, it's the Two of Pentacles. For the id, or the, you can call it the zodiac too, right? Is the Page of Swords reversed, right? So here we go. Starting with strength. Starting with the Crown, you have the attachment. See, you guys, or you are getting connected with yourself through your attachments to who you truly came here to be, or what this union between you guys actually is meant to do in this world, right? Now, you have the first one is the attachment. What are your attachments? You guys have, I'm gonna say you guys from now on so you can understand it. You guys have an attachment to each other's strengths. That's clear right there. But what is the strength card? The strength card is the connection between the self and the spirit. So you guys, spirit and egos align. So what does this mean? You also have the same demons. So are you guys using your combined force to face these demons or not? Now, when it comes into the self journey, it seems like you're alone, but it doesn't really feel that way when you understand that we're all connected. And the peace of God gave you when you came down here is enough for me, as a person, to say, okay, I'm connected to God and that's all I need, But it's not always like that. You need something to be rooted in this world. And here's where the mental connection comes in. So let me continue and actually draw these cards. So, yeah. So your attachment has to do with the strength. And that is through the mind. The strength of the mind is where you guys connect to through each other. So figure out what it is that brought you to him or her, right? Next up is the dark energies. The Page of Cups reversed, right? Although this is the right energy to have here, you will want to understand that it's reversed. So let's see what's happening with you. And let me finish off the light side just so I can continue with the explanation. So as I said before, Ketha is for the crown. Bina is for the dark. And right now I'm plucking for Hokmah, which is the light. You'll get this. Eventually you'll start understanding this, and you're gonna be very excited for when the app comes out. So this is the Queen of Pentacles reversed. I plucked that. Let me see if okay. It's natural. Alright. So the Queen of Pentacles reversed is in the space of your light. So earth and water support each other. So this is a supporting effort. It's both reversed too. So I don't, coincidence is the hand of God, because ain't nobody creating that. So let's keep going. I'm going to draw for the next one, which is the ether, which is Da'at. I count Da'at as a Sephirah. Why? Because I see it. And I'm an artist, and if you tell me that something is there, I'm not going to say it's not there, because I clearly see it. It's just what it is. Right? So, representing Da'at, which is the infinite knowledge. You guys are not afraid to work with each other. You guys are not afraid of each other's journey. But what is the battle? We're going to get down to it. Now, when it comes up to, let me go back because I forgot. When it comes up to Bina and Hokmah, that's the third eye, right? It's both reversed. And this is about the energies of illusion. So water falls, and if you can't catch it, it's being released, right? And the ground is like your worlds are turning upside down. Or at least that's how it feels. But understand that it's being poured on and it's being manifested. So that's what it's getting. It's like Your world is being turned upside down. So anything that doesn't stick to the ground where you think you are is for you. Everything else is not for you. It's like a big release that's happening. Out of your control. You guys' control. So maybe some truth came out and by mistake. You know, truth can come out by mistake, just how you actually feel. And it could move. It can cause movement in a relationship. This is the funny thing and the most powerful thing about truth. Truth, you don't need to debate on. You don't need to discern anything. It is what it is, and you can just move on from it, right? There you go. This is what it is. You can't move it. It's unmovable perspective. That's what it is, truth. So when you use more truth in your life, those people in your life, they can't take that from you. They can't take your truth from you because it's unmovable. And should you express it, understand that's coming straight from the core of you. And that's more highly vibrational than somebody talking down to you. You understand what I mean? So let's move on. What is going on in the divine feminine's area of desire? Okay. This is the Ace of Swords. Now, that's a great card to have in the point of desire. But let me see what the balance of it is saying to me. So, let me back up again because I didn't do the Fool's challenge. The Fool's challenge, I'm sorry. Ether, the challenge for Ether or Da'a is lies. So, although you guys are a fool for each other, you guys lie to yourself. But being honest with yourselves will cause truths to come out habitually. Like, sometimes you could be thinking that you are great, I'm great, I'm great, I'm great, I'm great, I'm great. This is the thought process, right? But you get into a crowd of people and then you're just talking about how great you are because you've been doing it all day. So it's like if you use that in your growth, you be like, okay, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do this. And next thing you know, your body would do it by mistake. That's how much you believed in it, right? But when it comes to the lies, oh, this is this, this is this, this is this, this is this, it might not necessarily be true. So you have to release the idea. Okay. Movement is key because if you constantly stay fixed on a certain thing and you don't move on from it. So say if your partner, whoever it is doing something, you focus on this one thing. Until you fix this, that's like your aspiration. Whatever you're focused on is your aspiration. So if your aspiration is not on yourself and it's on another, you're going to want them to help themselves before you move on. So that's creating a blockage, right? I hope that was for somebody. If it resonates with you, like, share, subscribe. Well, I'm here for you. And I could be here for more people should you help me out. So I'd appreciate it and thank you. So let's move on from this to the will. This is all face value in this great. Alright. So the crazy thing is you both desire to be the leader. You both have a God-given ability to lead. But lead what? Okay. So, first, let me put this card face down so I don't cheat, right? So, in desire, you have to understand that this is a connection between your spirit and your body. That's what your desire is. That's what your true desire is. When you connect your spirit, which is, how can you touch a spirit, right? You can only interpret it. You can only think you understand it. You can only try to learn what it's saying to you, right? through your body. You know, sometimes you feel an itch somewhere. Oh, my hand is itching, so is this. Your spirit is trying to tell you got money coming on, right? So using things like that, you can learn what your spirit is saying to you. So your spirit is saying, I want something. We're communicating, right? I hope this is making sense. Same goes for your will when it comes up to your body, and the connection between the body and the mind, right? Is the will. Your mind has to act or force the body to do something, right? For itself, because that's just the way it works. But I'm sure you can understand where this is going. And I got the next card, so let's get these two. Fire and air are the Emperor and the 10 of Swords reversed. Right. Mixed ideas that it's almost like both parties, meaning the divine masculine and the divine feminine, are stuck on ideas that you probably dreamed of. The kingdom that you saw is in conflict with the queendom that she sees. Vice versa, right? The kingdom that you see is in conflict with the queendom that she sees. But God brought y'all together to mix and merge, to create something else. It's better. I'm not gonna say it's just a kingdom, because, you know, a neutral, right? Yeah, whatever. But that's what y'all were here to do. Unite those two ideas in some way. But your heart's in different places. Yeah. Now, why? Because this is a fire card. And this is soul energy, in a place where air should be going out, right? But fire and air do support each other. So it's almost like this is exactly where the ego is taking control over. So something crazy is going to happen at this spot. Just watch my words. Mark my words. This is where the problem is. I can almost guarantee it. Because it's a lot of pain here with the soul. And after the 10, okay. So let's move on to what the water and the earth has to say right now. But let me finish off with the Emperor. The Emperor has to do with grief. Now, there are things that have happened in you guys' life where you said, I vow never for this to happen again, because I was caught off guard, I didn't know, and that hurt me, so this will never happen again. And I don't care how much I love him or her, I won't allow it to happen, because I just won't. Now, you can call that protection, or you can call that stubbornness, because why would God, if you learned the lessons already, put you in that same position? So you have to be willing to let it go. So understand that focus is your aspiration. And until you fix it, it's like you're blocking yourself. Your aspiration should come well-rounded, I should say, instead of fixed on one part. If you're fixed on control, because that's what this is, that's what the control is. That's what everything forms into one. Seeing the bigger picture, seeing the bigger picture. Imagine you can see the world in the palm of your hand. It's not so much a scary world no more, but you see it from the bottom up. It's like you gotta walk 1,000, 2 million miles, but whatever it is. It's 7,256 miles. Circumference or something like that, right? Yeah, circumference. 7,256 or something like that. I forgot it. It could be 72,000. That's why I'm bugging. Yeah, 72,500. I forgot. But I hope you understood that part. The King of Swords is showing itself. I don't know why yet. Let's just keep that in my mind. Now, although these two energies support each other, because your ego is fixed on control, you have no rhythm. Your rhythm is off. But y'all got the qualities. It's almost like one is dancing bachata and one is on salsa, but y'all both good at it. So it's just like y'all gotta find a dance that y'all both good at. You understand what I mean? Y'all both are ace dancers. You guys are both ace builders, ace creators, ace communicators, ace everything, right? You are great because you sat with yourself, you learned yourself, right? But when it's time to let go of a boundary that you put up so you can work on yourself, because like I said, you can't get past it till you fix it because it's focused on your mind. Oh, this, right? I hope this is helping somebody. Relationships are about movement, not so much love. Balance brings movement, and that is God's love towards your life. So if you guys are balanced between each other, you can understand that. I'll get to it. Just understand that part real quick. Let me get this water and earth. I can't get it. The devil is trying to show itself, so let's see. Let me shuffle one time. Yeah, I could do that. Nice. So, let's see what this energy. Too many cards. Let's just put it back. Alright, here we go. Water. The Three of Swords reversed. Air is not supposed to be here because this is a space of water. So that means this is a mental thing that's blocking your emotions from reaching your desire, or your emotions from reaching yourself in general. So it's like somebody. Ooh, let me see. Just hold that thought. If I'm on it, I'm on it. Let me get there. Okay. So the Lovers is in the earth position. The Lovers is an air card. So this is a lot of mental I'm rightness. There's a lot of mental focus here. So that means that, like I said before, you have a fixed focus that's not on anything but yourself. You don't have growth. You have no. Let's just say if the focus on yourself is a straight line, you are choosing a path, other paths, because you're focused on other things. But how could you truly know what to focus on? Because you have to learn who you are, right? Your spirit knows why you're here. Your mind knows what to do. So you are the common factor. You're the one that can get them to work with each other. You know? Yeah. For the one time, I'm going to say this. They keep saying in so many fantasy shows, if angels and demons learn to live with each other, we can have peace. So the demons in your mind and the angels in your mind, if they learn how to live with each other, they can have peace. I'm going to just say that for the one time and move on from it, because I need to go into the second part of the reading, which is the Pneuma effect. Right. So, as I explained before, this is the gut health, and I hope I got through it. Now, I left this space open. This space is for the superconscious. Now, I can't get to your abundance until we have balance, right? So, how do you achieve balance? Not everything on this board is in the right affinity. So, you understand how this is air, earth, water, and this space is fire, right? But fire has different things going on with it, as you can see. So let's just count this card, the fire, the crown, the fire, right? So after those, then you have these spots. Ether must be a combination of air or fire, which it is. So that means we don't need to do anything there. And that's the one example I gave. I'm gonna give another one. Strength card is a fire card, and that is in the right place when it comes up to the soul. Fire energy is emanation. So all of the beginnings comes from the soul energy. Let me just leave it like that. But it's a lot to go over. I don't want to take too much of the time, right? Let's move on. I don't know why I'm focused on fixing this right now. So let me just do it. What did I need to see? Order. Maybe instead of fighting, you guys can put yourself in an order that aligns. Oh, here it is. Okay. Now, in this world, a lot of people are, in my opinion, fooled to believe that 50-50 is balance, right? Now, I don't believe that that's right. I believe that 70-30 is balance. Why? Because in music theory, music is sound is chakra, right? So I'm gonna just say in chakra music theory, right? In music, 70-30 is balance. And that's, I forgot what chord, it's like 3-4 or something like that, right? So using that, you have to understand that if you're a guy, let's just do men right now. If you're a man, be 70% in your divine masculine nature and 30% in your divine feminine. In this way, you can provide your own self with balance. You don't need anybody. So, same goes for women. If you are, we all have different preferences. So I'm gonna just leave it like that. I'm not even gonna talk about gender. I'm talking about, well, I am talking about what you are interested in, but that's up to you. But when it comes up to the nature that you want to be, if you are a masculine creature, be 70% in that masculine energy and 30. If you are a feminine creature, be 70% in this feminine domain place and 30% in the masculine. Why? Not only is that harmony in music, right? Your chakras are aligned literally. So I want you to understand 70-30 as this point right here being 70, this point right here being 30. And I'm going to do it on both sides. So when a man and a woman combine, what do you have? You have some kind of union, right? And what this means is anything you do, all that energy, all that balancing energy has to go somewhere, because we are infinite beings. Soul is an infinite source of energy. And instead of working on everything, you can work on itself, and it only grows. It only expands. So that's what we're trying to get to. More love, more expansion, more movement. You'll go to my last video and you'll understand what I'm saying right now in more detail about love. Love is movement, and balance brings it. True love is different, because you're loving that person also. You're loving the self of that person too. Not just what that self can do for you, right? That's the trueness of it. If you love the person, and then what they can do for you. It has hierarchy. Person, and then what they can do for you. But person, their person has to take effect. It has to take, whatever that word is. Dominance, right? Yeah, so when you do that, you have... crying, right? I was looking at too many things. When you do it, you have, just call it unity, circle, right? You have growth. So, this second part of the reading has to do with that. The Pneuma effect has to do with what needs to happen here in order for it to be balanced, right? So, we went through the mental aspect of everything, and we need to attach the physical to it, right? Because you need to be mental and physical, let me say it this way. You need to be mental and physical to achieve the balance within yourself. And spiritually, put it this way. So, the energy of the mind and the spirit have to be balanced, as well as the energy of the ether to the body, which is the physical to the mental, right? So, those two have to be balanced. Understand it's like a crosshair. When you do it like this, you know how the crosshair goes down or something like that? Goes over here like this. Understand that that's what I'm seeing in my mind when I look at where the energy is going. So, I'm going to show you where that point is soon. But, yeah. Starting, I'm going from the bottom to the top this time. From Malkut to Ketha this time. And it's for a certain reason. I can't even really get into it because it's new, right? It's just too much to think about. But I'm going to go with it. So, in balancing the energy of the lovers, this is air and the space is earth. That means that there is nothing to use but your thoughts right now, or you're not using anything that you have around you and you are thinking too much over what you have. There are things around you for you to use. So when it comes up to relationships, union, there are common things that you guys use so you can consolidate and make it easier on both of you to operate. So the dust can settle, right, between you guys. Y'all can clean the air by finding common ground, right? That's what it seems. So let's see. Okay. Okay. All right. You see something here? The Lovers and the Devil. So, what is the problem? But the Devil is an Earth card, right? Yeah, the Devil is an Earth card, and that finishes this affinity run, right? So, now I need to go into the actual book. This is the Magic Seer deck. If you like some of this content, like, share, subscribe. I'm sure I can get more decks to make it a better reading for everybody, and that's what I'm looking. Yeah, that's what I'm looking for. So, if you find it in you, you will see it here, and I thank you. So, going to the Devil, right? I don't know what to say about this. Right? I'm plucking cards. I gotta explain it. So, what's currently happening is the Lovers. And it was upright, so attraction, love, beauty, trials overcome, right? So, I'm not gonna say this to be insensitive. So what? Y'all getting over the things. What are you doing with that information? Because you got over it, there is something you can use, not just something you can think over with your ego and just swing it around all over the place, right? There's something that both of these egos like, and they say, oh, this is not too bad. Common ground is the biggest thing in relationships when it comes up to rooting yourself into the relationship, right? Common ground. What can you do that benefits each other naturally without you even trying? Right? How about you write it down? I do this, I like this, I do this on a daily. How about you mix these things together at the same time? If you could, it would create more time and space for y'all to find union, right? But this also can be with yourself. You'll have more time for yourself to pamper yourself and all these other things, right? Your attraction is great. What will come to you is great, should you decide to use the things that are around you first. So, that goes from there to the Devil. Ravage, violence, vehemence, extraordinary efforts, force, fatality, that which is predestined but is not for this reason evil. So, let's just say if there is a breakup pending, or if there's a breakup that happened, or if there's a union that happened, right? A forced union, right? You need to be in a place to learn something, or you need to be in a place to use something, right? There's something physical to do here, there, and there's something mental to learn there, right? There's something that you can learn in every place that God put you in. Why? Because this is a learning experience. The world makes you think that it's done, it's over. But every time you decide that the world has power, for God's love not the world, neither the things that are in the world. That was my first Bible verse. Don't fix, don't move. What? Love not the world. Don't move according to the world, or what the world says you need to do. And the second verse is, if any man love the world, the love of the Father is not in him. Right? So if you love what the world asks you to do for yourself, what you are designed to do for your actual self, your true self, is going to be blocked because the world is taking charge. I don't know if that helps somebody, because perspectives should come from yourself first. They should take whatever that word is, dominance. Right? precedence, something, right? But where you are is not necessarily evil, because you have gifts. Let's just say you guys are in a bad position, and there's something that only through union that will help you guys. Only through union. You gotta suck it up. You know what? We gotta do this just to make this, like, to survive. Because this is the place of survival, right? Fear, right? Self-preservation. Courage and curiosity. Courage and curiosity is what owns this place. So the courage to actually tell your truth, express it, and see what the effects bring out of it. But if there's union and both of you guys are going into this thinking the same way, it's safe. So you can present this space, or you can force this space. You know, whichever way comes natural to you. Hopefully you present it to the person. Hey, come here and let's talk about this. Not let's talk about this now, because that's not a place for the actual truth to come out. You're only pushing them into their lower energy, but nothing else can come out. The truth is up in the higher resonance, not the lower resonance, right? Yeah. So now that this is done, we're gonna move on to the water, the water energy, or the chakra. You can call it your side, right? So let's just say this right here. This one right here is for Malkut. This is for your side. So let's go up the line really quickly and see what it's saying. The 3 swords. So the 3 of swords reverse. Let me see it this way. Okay. So the 3 of swords reverse is saying this: removal, absence, delay, division, rupture, dispersion, and all that the design signifies naturally. Oh, that was upright, and I don't even know why I read it that way. I'm so used to it. So the 3 of swords reversed says this: mental alienation, error, loss, distraction, disorder, and confusion. Right? So this is thinking that you were broken for no reason. What is the point? Right? What is the point of all of this heartbreak? If it was upright, you got the point, and it's raining down on you. When it's this way, it's nothing for the water to, it won't rise unless you get some heat with it, right? But that means it's just flooding. What are you really planting in flooded waters? Nothing. So let's see where that energy leads us to the next card. With the next card. Not seeing the goal. Or, yeah. This is the cutting out of both perspectives on both parties to find common ground. Because if you didn't, no. I'm not even going to say that. Alright. Temperance is a fire card. Now, this is completely opposite of what it's supposed to be, even though this is a good card. So there's a remember I just told you, I literally just said unless you add some heat, and that was the heat that I was adding, and that means patience. What's on the bottom of the deck? The 9 of Pentacles. Patience, and you'll have your abundance. But you got the 6 over here, and we'll get to that later. But yeah, actually we don't need to get to this. It's good how it is. So let's see what this is saying. After I finish off this run, let's finish this with some water. Temperance has water in it. You see this card? Let me put it this way. If you can see this clearly, he's holding water in 2 cups, just pouring it between each other like they're both connected. Like, whatever you give, I'll catch. Whatever you do, I got you. So it's fine. I don't know. Whatever's for you is for you, and it can't be taken away. Patience brings beauty. you'll see the beauty in something if you wait for it. Sometimes you don't want to jump the gun and say, oh, this is this, so I'm gonna go, right? Instead of waiting like you should. This is not in the right position, but this is a person who is waiting. So this is two people who are waiting on God to say that they're right. Ooh, that hurts. Yeah. So and it's divine too. You both swear. So what's the real evil? And this is why you go for guys and together. You understand that y'all not trying to hurt each other, but coming together. This is a divine union. This is a divine union. Oh. Yeah. Too much energy. Alright. Only one. More air. It's not finished yet. So now y'all got you. Okay. Now I know. Pentacles. So it's not water yet. Let's see. The max I'll do on each slot is 6. 1, 2, 3, 4. Why? Because there's 76 cards. Oh, sorry. Why? Because it's 78 cards, and 6 times 13 is 78. So you are allowed to do 6 cards in each place. And if they don't line up, it's just too much work. Too much work to be done, right? So sometimes I would just stop, but I believe I need to keep going. Queen of Swords. One more. If it's not water, you'll see what some of the problem is. It's in the emotion. Clearly the water's making noise. Are you guys shy? Because I understand what shyness is. If you haven't been yourself for a very long time, of course you would be shy. You haven't been out. It's bright. It's like you were in a cave. Your true self is in a cave. It's scary outside, but you can't be afraid to come outside because you're protected. The Hermit is also an earth card. Alright, so look. I didn't get water. But this is what I got. I got 3 of Swords, Temperance, the 6 of Swords, the 7. Oh, I see. 7 of Pentacles, Queen of Swords, and the Hermit, right? So look, let's read through these really quickly. I told you about Temperance, and right now I'm going to go to the 6. Economy, moderation, frugality, management, accommodation, right? Now, management is with patience. You have to work with what you have. So, I was on the right track with that. When it comes up to the 6 of Swords, that's next. Let's see what it says. Journey by water, route, way, envoy, commissionary, expedient, right? It's getting these thoughts to action. Notice that this boat is heading towards here. So it is more like, let me get to my desire. I don't care what I gotta do. So it's like, I'm gonna use what I got. I'm gonna use my own knowledge to get me there. Right? And it can actually make you fail, but for some reason, you're fine. No water's coming in this boat. For some reason. What you're doing is in line. So keep doing it. Alright, so going towards 7 of Pentacles, money, business, barter, but one reading gives altercation, quarrel, and another innocence. This is definitely getting rid of, well, this is a big life change, should you accept it. This is a very big life change, should you accept it. But there's this one pentacle here that isn't bunched up with the rest. And what is that for? Is that the last one? The one that you think that you don't, if you gave up, you'll lose yourself? Let's see what the Queen of Swords has to say. Because it's a lot of work to do emotionally. But the war is with the ego. And the ego is going hard on the emotions, right? It's a powerful balancing act, put it that way. Queen of Swords. Widowhood, right? Getting rid of something. Female sadness and embarrassment. Absence, sterility, mourning, privation, separation. Right. So, not that it's female, it's divine feminine. So it's the energy in you that's sad. The spirit is disappointed. and in the lack of communication. The spirit is disappointed with the lack of communication. I don't know why I'm laughing, and it's not even funny. It's just that when it lines up with what the board is telling you, I'm laughing because it's making sense to me, and I'm glad that I can portray the message, you know. So lastly is the Hermit. although you do have some energies in here that would support water, it's not gonna be in full flow. So this is gonna take some time to handle. That's what that's telling me. This is locked out now. So let's see what the Hermit has to say. Prudence, circumspection, also, and especially treason, dissimulation, roguery, corruption. So if you guys are on a break, or if you guys, this is the Hermit, right? And this is Earth card. So a break between some of your manifestations. You went your own way to work on yourself. Now, what happens when the attraction is so strong and your work brings you only closer to either yourself or that person? What happens then? Do you accept it, or do you say, no, my ego says this? Right? Let's move on from that. Going from there to the 10 of Wands, the fire location, you have the 10 of Wands reversed. So this is the correct card, the correct energy to have here, but it's reversed. Let's see what it says. Contrarieties, difficulties, intrigues, and their analogies. No, I should do this. No, this is like this. No, this is exactly like this. Knowledge is to be used to build, not to dissimulate, dismantle. Knowledge should be used to build. Fix the holes, not break the whole thing. It's not yours to fix, especially if it's the other person. They're on their own journey. See where you can put the putty. See where you can put the bricks in their, their house, their tower, I said that word, but let's see what happens. See where you can fix their, see where you can help out instead of using all of the things that you went through, thinking that that's what was meant for them too. Everybody has a different route. You can only help along their way. It's that they're passing you, right? When it came up to the water, I know I said it had to do with the guilt, right? But the psychological function is movement and connection. So being not afraid to do the things that have failed before will bring more love into your life. It's that simple. That simple. Right. So, for the fire, you have the law of rhythm, smell, the psychological function of will, the right to act, and the challenge is shame. The objective is pride, believe it or not. So, having pride in your failures is something too. Not to your failures, it seems, or the information around it is for other people. Since you learned it, since you learned your lesson, your information is for other people. Your lessons are for other people. Things that have happened in your past are data. It's just data. You can give that to somebody. Here's what I learned. this is the form that I use to get through it. The form, think of it as a rhythm. This is what I used to do to get through it. I used this method. So you probably have a lot of methods, both when it comes to the divine and the masculine. And the feminine. Methods come from everywhere. You know, you live life. You have things that you think that you need to do. But in union, there's a method between the two. And the union with self, it's that spiritual connection, will help out with a lot of the things that's blocking you. As for the emperor is in the air place, and yes, it does support. So I can choose not to do anything, or I can choose to go. But this emperor was really giving me bad vibes, so I'll pluck for it. Nice. King of Swords. So, let's see what the emperor has to say, and then let's see what the King of Swords is saying afterwards. So, stability, power, protection is that power word. Control, right? Realization, a great person, aid, reason, conviction, and also authority and will. So, the control of what happens in this process. Thinking that since you've made it, or since you got through it, that it's for this person. Hey, take my shoes, because I got through it. Does that make sense, right? No, it doesn't. So, what's the next part? So, when you get over that, when you understand that everybody else is not for themselves, has their own battles, has their own path, what is there to know? And this is what helps it. This is what clears their energy. Whatsoever arises out of the idea of judgment and all its connections, power, command, authority, militant intelligence, law offices of the crown, and so forth, right? So, this is, call it, not a summation of ideas, a summation of thoughts that leads you to an epiphany, right? But it's not so much judgment. It's more like, alright, well, if you go from 9 swords here, 1 sword here, this king picked up that ace. So this ace is in this king's hand, right? And what does that mean for your desire? You have your desires under control. The ego is powered by desire. The spirit is powered by the will. Or I should say, the spirit powers the will. The ego does things that give an effect to the spirit. When you think of authority and judgment, this can really hurt somebody. When it's your partner or when it's yourself, you say things to yourself that stop yourself. Don't think that there's not a relationship in your mind happening the same way it is outside in your life. It plays the same roles. If it's crazy in your mind up here, it'll represent it exactly in your outside life. So you'll see where it fits out. If there's something that happened in your past, see how it translated into your life. And honestly, noticing it, and like I said, that focus until you get past it. But this is a cycle, so you focusing on the cycle so you can get through it. That's good. After the focus of the cycle is done, you have 8, which is about it. I'm going from 12 to 0, right? So next is the 8. So here is where we talk about the body. Now this should be earth. And air and earth are polar opposites, right? So this is not something that needs to happen here. Now let's see what fixes this energy and see where it goes. The Empress and the Magician is coming out. So let's see if they come out again. Let's shuffle. Getting a lot done at the same time, it seems. If you order your steps, it will be easier because something you created, and it's also something your ego created. So that's how you can get your ego to co-create with your ego, with your spirit. Your ego makes the order, and your spirit said, you know what, this is gonna happen, so let's just go with what he's doing right now and fix it. Yeah. Alright, so this is the card that's coming out right now. Ooh. The Death card. Death card is a water card, and it has to do with what's lurking below. What's lurking deep in the water. The things that come out. That sea monster. This is why you don't get in the water. Right? But understand that the water is the emotions. And deep emotions is what I was talking about. You don't even want to be there. For what reason? This helps this location. Water and earth are supportive, right? But let's see what happens. Because I'm looking for earth to be here. Okay. The Six of Wands doesn't really help it out. So, what is it that you're trying to say? What am I messing up? I'm trying to figure out what God wants to say right now. Because cards are not talking. Alright, so the Nine of Pentacles, I did see it before, and it came out. I guess I was waiting for that. So, let's see where this run led us. We started off with the Nine of Swords to the Death card, to the Six of Wands, to the Nine of Pentacles. Now, what does that mean? Death, failure, miscarriage, delay, deception, disappointment, despair, right? So, naturally, if all of this is happening, you got all of these emotions flooding your lanes, you can't have any growth until you get some life there. You can't have any growth until there's fertile land available for you, but everything is flooded. How could you do it, right? It's muddy, it's dirty, it's just like, you know what? I need to find a new place to be. And I remember seeing this Six of Swords here. This guy's going to somewhere new. So your emotions eventually are leading you to new places, even though it seems like there's turmoil, right? So going from there to the Death card. End, morality, destruction, corruption also for a man, the loss of a benefactor for a woman, many contrarieties for a maid, failure of marriage projects. So you were not afraid to deal with the emotions with the person, but it kind of backfired, it seems. But understand, when you go that low, you bring out gems. Think of your mind as a mine, right? You go in your mind and you excavate and get gems out of it. So when you went that far, you found out something about yourself and said, you know what? If I was able to do this comfortably, that would be great. And you just know something about yourself now. So that's what that Death card is giving me. Because after death is always rebirth. Because you know about the, reincarnation cycle and all that other stuff. After death is rebirth. Six of Wands. It's a victor triumphing, but it's also a great news, such as might be carried in the state by the king. Courier is expectation crowned with its own desire, the crown of hope. I mentioned hope before. Love and hope, two very strong energies. It's like, you know what? I hope God do it, or I'm gonna love myself enough to do it. So it's like, when you hope, God got your back, because you know you actually cannot go any further. You know it's that feeling. It's like, you know what, God has to take over, right? But when you did that, you realized that you had some good news coming towards you. Or because you did it, God says, you know what, I'm going to help you out in this situation. Maybe you thought it was unfair, and then when you want something to be corrected. Maybe. Let's see. There's some things that give you hope. There's something that you've done that gave you a little bit of hope. something that you can do that gives you hope, because your body is your tool, right? The tool that you use in this world, the thing that holds everything together. 9 of Pentacles clears off this run, so let's see what it says. Prudence, safety, success, accomplishment, certitude, discernment. After you weren't afraid to go that far, you picked up something along the way. You learned something about yourself, and then you started to have hope in that thing that you can do with yourself. Like, once you find out something about yourself, you can work with yourself, right? Now this is that process, and when you started to do that, then abundance. It's nothing but abundance coming towards you. So if this resonates for you, if you want this to come towards you, just know that this is for you. Know that honestly going as far as you can with yourself is only going to give you the gems you want. Don't be afraid to go in that mind and excavate. Right? So let's figure it out. Let's go to the next thing. After body, you have the mind, right? When it comes up to the mind, is the Chariot energy. Now this Chariot energy is, the Chariot is a water card, and it's all about the things, your limits. I should put it this way. You've reached your limits with certain things, and even though you know you have to deal with certain people, it's hard to stomach it. It's hard to stomach the idea that what you believed in for so long is actually stopping you, right? It's hard to believe because you used it for so long to protect yourself. So how could that be the thing that is destroying you? It doesn't really equate. It doesn't really make sense. But like I said, this world really makes you believe in nonsense. This world makes you believe in nonsense. All these movies, all these videos give you things in your mind that says, you know what, I think it should go this way. But this is a movie, right? This is everything that you look at is something going into your mind and making you believe. All information is not that good. So what are you listening to? Who are you listening to? Listen to yourself first. Let that be the dominating thought in your life. So, the Chariot, Succor, Providence, also war. Providence, also war. Triumph, presumption, vengeance, trouble, right? Vengeance I don't like. Why? Because it's like ignorance at its finest. You really won't take the truth, so you do your best to push it away. But it's the truth. It's so powerful. How can you even stomach that? You have to digest that. It's just there. Now deal with it. The truth stops this from happening. The truth about things stops the ego. It's okay. That makes sense, but let me say it again. What does truth do for the ego? If the ego is out of control, you can use a little bit of truth to balance it out. Why? Because the ego is nothing but the mind out of control sometimes. When you say that you're in your ego, you're in your mind, and your mind is taking control. But you have a mind and a spirit and a body and a soul. So don't let one part of you take control. Right? And it's the most influential part because we use our eyes to see in this area. But all is mind, right? So let's keep going with that. To fix this area, we need air specifically. But let's see what we get. And water and air is neutral. So these arguments are taking up too much of you guys' energy. This idea that you have that keeps you away from either nurturing yourself or doing things for yourself in general. The Hanged Man. So the Hanged Man is a water card, and that still doesn't fix it. So Hangman and the Chariot is both on the same side of the Tree of Life. And what does that tell me right now? That this is a spiritual process that has to happen before you can make a move on something. This is you being in your emotions and finally letting go. So now that you let go of the war between either you and your partner or you between yourself, let's see, got some fire going on here. So that's a lot better than water. So I'm gonna leave it like this. Why? Because fire and air are supportive. So I'll leave it like that. I think that's what I was supposed to do at some of these locations, but I'm guided to do certain things. This is new for me too. So midway of me saying that, I just changed my mind. So let's just see what comes out, because this should be air and I don't see air here. So let's see. There's a message. Too much. Too many thoughts, too many problems. Can't do everything at the same time. You're only one person. Maybe if you had a better village, but you know sometimes you need to do things on your own. You can't depend on people to do it for you. Now, when it comes up to, remember when I said this energy, the 70-30 balance, right? What does that mean? That your partner or the other side of you fulfills you completely. And no, it's more like the other person is such a great match that should you decide not to do anything, it would be like you're fulfilled completely. But that's too codependent. If you both are doing work at the same time, highest priestess on the bottom of the deck, if you both are in balance, right, at the same time, more energy can be used towards expansion and growing and becoming better people, better, you know, I'm about to say better selves, you know, more of yourself. And that will in turn only help your partner be more of themselves because they have the space to. So let's see what this is saying. It's the sun. The sun is in the mind, right? So this is fire again. I'm looking for air. So I guess this is how it's supposed to be. Let's see. Okay. Finally, 5 of Swords. Here we go. Now, what does that mean? In this run and how it's completed, it goes from the Chariot, the Hangman, the 2 of Swords, the Sun, and then ending off with the 5 of Swords. This is in the space or the domain of the mind, the formation, the psyche. So let's see. I already looked at the Chariot. I already talked about the Hangman a little bit, but let's go to it. Wisdom, circumspection, discernment, trial, sacrifice, intuition, and divination, prophecy. So the sacrifice is speaking out to me right now, because if you sacrifice what you think you want for yourself, God can give you something because there's more space for God to operate. So understand that this spiritual connection is like you're creating more space for God to operate in your life. So it's almost like a role that you brought yourself here to do. And then should you let your spirit help you with it, not you'll have peace. And not the cops on you. I don't know why I needed to say that. Well, judgment. Judgment on you. Put it that way. And after the Hangman, you have 2 of Wands. This is a decision. When I'm looking at this right now, the 2 of Wands, this staff is in his left hand and the whirlwind is in his right hand. So your right brain, right, is more on the creative side, and that's more well-rounded. Your left brain is more on the logical. So this guy is deciding to be balanced instead of imbalanced, it seems. One or the other, it seems like he could have chose any way. He could have chose any one of them. But what is it about this side that attracted him? So I hope that makes sense right there. Because I gotta go forward. The sun is the decision to be balanced brings light. What kind of light? Light that does what? Material happiness, fortunate marriage, contentment, right? Light that brings contentment. Light that brings light that brings freedom. Because you can see the hangman there. That guy's waiting to be dropped, you know. Hopefully he stays there. Is he hanging on purpose or forced to hang there, right? Which one is you? Were you forced in this position, or do you willingly go into it to learn from it? The willingness to go into something to learn is where God needs you to be, because if you can learn the things that you need to do what you came here to do, wouldn't you be happy? But you have to know how to do what it is you came to do. These lessons are so important. So all of that is leading to the 5 of Swords. Degradation, destruction, reversal, infamy, dishonor, and loss. Right? So this is giving me ego death. Why? Because to your ego, wouldn't it be dishonorable to get rid of an idea that helped you for so long? It logically makes sense that you should be doing this thing for the rest of your life because it works, right? But in letting go of that idea that one thing is correct and only one thing can be correct, the correct way to go, letting go of that gives you a little bit more freedom, and then the battle is over. You see? At the start of it, wow. At the start of it was the war. At the end of it, the war's over. Wow. There you go. So, going towards the spirit, you have the King of Cups, and that is in affinity, so we don't have to draw any more cards here. But I want to read it anyway, of course, and see what it says. This has to do with your spiritual connection. So you see what your body is up to. Your spirit is in tune. So that's a good thing. You have a unique connection with your spirit. And what does it give you? What does it help you with? Fair man of business, law, or divinity, responsible and disposed to oblige the querent. Also equity, art, and science, including those who profess science, law, and art, and creative intelligence. So you're a master creator with spirit. You're a master manifester, right? You mastered it. So anytime, see, this is why, because you have good strength. The strength is the connection between the self and the spirit. And that is natural to you. That is your essential nature, to balance these two energies, right? So your spirit seems, or the divine feminine energy seems to be more balanced in this reading so far when it comes up to the space, the energy, right? The energy that's coming from it and out of it and in and around it, right? But this is what you can't see. Okay. If two people are in a relationship and they're good, y'all can't necessarily see that they're good. So whatever you see from the outside, say it's a friend, they're going to say this. They're going to say, oh, I don't like that. Are you good? Right? But you can be chilling. That's something that you guys decided on as a couple or whatever. It's something you decided with yourself that you're going to do. No, I'm good. This is just how I'm going to act now. Right? I'm switching it up on purpose. And people sometimes are judges in everybody else's life. They judge you or they misinterpret what's going on and tell you, according to their shoes, their walk, their path in their life, what they think you need to do, right? So that's not for you. Like I keep saying, it's not for you. You put on your own shoes and don't be afraid to use them, right? They're for you. And there's a sense of honesty when it comes to your spirit right now. So I think that's all I needed to say with there. When it comes up to your actual will, right? It's the 6 of Pentacles. presence, gifts, gratification. Another account says attention, vigilance. Now is the accepted time. Present, prosperity. You go from not having anything around you to noticing so many things. It's just like, I gotta give it away now because it's too much for me to handle. So it's like going from nothing to use to everything to use, and you can give it away freely, not to beggars. Don't think it is begging, because this guy's on his knees, that guy's on his knees. It's more of a respect to it. You know what? I appreciate this. Thank you. It's more you're getting gratitude for some of the things that you had already. Maybe there's a lot for you to sell in your house. Hoarders are coming to me right now. What do you have around you that you can use to sell for money? I don't know. That sounded a little awful. Okay. Yeah. But it's paying strong attention to doing something presently. So there's something you can do now. You don't have to have what you think you need. You're not overthinking so much. You can't overthink with all of this abundance in your face. No need to think so much. You just do, right? So that's what God is setting you up with. The ability to do. All you got to do is put your heart into it. But when it comes up to desire, you have the Ace of Swords. Triumph, the excessive degree in everything. Conquest, triumph, or the triumph of force. A card of great force. In love as well as in hatred. Alright, so air has to do with polarity, right? And when it comes up to what God, these clouds giving me right now, just straight from the heaven, you know what, with your crown on top of the ace, on top of the sword. So it's just like, here, take both of these and understand there's a divine way that you guys can get anything that you needed, anything that you desired. And you guys are not taking no for an answer when it comes up to it. But luckily, when it comes up to union, your spirit and your body is connected to it, right? Not taking no for an answer. So somebody's forcing you to stay back and share your abundance with them. For whoever that resonates with, so be it. Now, coming to the Fool, we have the ether, right? And the ether is about the lies or the objective to be honest, right? Coming back to this energy, you have to understand one thing. Is a fool honest or ignorant? So, the Fool, folly, mania, extravagance, intoxication, delirium, frenzy, or bereavement, right? The idea of union is something you guys are willing to give everything up for. But, no, that's it. The idea of union with either yourself or somebody is enough energy for you to want to get rid of everything. It's like something you really wanted. But don't think that you can't do it yourself, because you'll give up too much. And understanding that love is movement for somebody else. Too much love, meaning that person will expand, that person will be getting your energy. It will be seeming like a vampire, right? Too much movement, too much love for that one person will eventually drain you and leave you like on low power. You got to go into hibernation for yourself. But, in the best case scenario, if it is a balanced situation, or if you can find a balance with it, nobody's losing much. You have each other. So, yeah, that's what the Fool is telling me. And the Fool is of the air, and it's legal. So that means it is in infinity. So we can move on from there. Now, finally, going from there to the light and the dark at the same time. It don't matter. The Queen of Pentacles reversed. What does it say? Evil, fear, suspicion, suspense, and mistrust. Right. So, I never liked Earth in this position of the light because you can understand that Earth blocks light. Right? So, not that, when you're in the darkness, right? This can be taken two ways. It can be blocking the light, or it can be finally showing something for you to focus on, right? The light is too bright, now it's being blocked and it only comes out of a certain situation. Focus here, right? So I can take that two ways. Here you go. So, evil, fear, suspicion, suspense, and mistrust. Not trusting in the path, because this is the energy that God has coming towards you. The energy of the dark, right? Think of it as more karma. Good karma, bad karma, whichever it is. And this has to do with the path, and it's more logical. The rhythms that God aligned you to take and to do, right? For you to get to where you came here for. To what you even think right now, right? So that's with the path, and this has to do with illusions, right? What is it about the world and what you know about the world that really makes you believe that being yourself is going to be the end of you? In fact, yeah, you might be attacked because you got a lot of haters around you, but it only shows you how far you're going. You got more haters, you're doing a lot better. It's just what it is. So, the Page of Cups, in the space of the energy coming towards you, is coming towards you in a flood, but it's not going to be a flood. It's going to be a whole bunch of fish. Just imagine you thinking you're going to catch one fish when you put your rod out, right? And instead of you catching a fish, you catch a whole school. That's what this is about. The Page of Cups in reverse, right? Taste, inclination, attachment, seduction, deception, and artifice. Seduction. Alright. The water is right here, but it's being poured out here. You don't want to be seduced. Think of your desire as a funnel, right? And this is what's being funneled. There's an abundance of deception that will cause you to not do something for yourself after you've grown. There's a devil right there trying to get you to go the wrong way, and this is like the last of the test, like the final test of the year, the midterms, whichever one of those tests you can think about right now. But imagine that as God testing you, or it could be a physical test, it could be an actual test. But thinking that you don't got it, thinking that you didn't study hard enough, thinking that somebody else's plan, somebody else's study methods is going to help you with your mind and how you operate. We're all different people, but we all can be united. We got to work with each other. We're got to work with our strengths, with our weaknesses, You are only as weak as the weakest person in y'all know the quote. But when it comes into the relationship, these are the people in your minds collectively, as a union between two people, whatever, right? So these are the people in your minds, and if these people are not in union, you won't have peace. And we're getting to that right now. So let's see what it says. After the Page of Cups, you have finally the Strength card. The Strength card crowns the reading. We started with this card, and we're going to end off with this card. This card stays stationary, and it is going to tell us everything that we need to know. This card stays stationary, and this doesn't need anything different with it. You don't need any. Who you are is perfect for what you have to do. So as long as you keep your nature up, as long as you keep doing the things that you've done, knowing that things need to change, knowing that there can be a difference, knowing that you can tweak things a little bit, knowing that the way you set out to do something might not be the way it ends up, knowing that you don't have to know everything first, right? That's your strength. You just go. It's crazy. So the strength card. Power, energy, activation, courage, magnanimity. Also complete success and honors. Right? There's nothing really more to say about that. Strength runs deep. The connection runs deep between you guys or yourself. It runs deep. But the divine feminine in the relationship has more control. Don't think of it as control. Has more nurturing ability. Oh, okay. This is definitely some kind of lion or whatever, and she's petting the lion like it's a regular pet. So whatever that energy around you that made you fearful, like if a lion is coming towards you, do this or else kind of feeling, your nature is to make that energy sit down. Like, go over there and just think about what you did kind of nature. It doesn't affect you. You know where to put it. You know how to put the power in its place. So, this is the second part of the reading, and the last part isn't so long, so we're going to get down to it. I'm going to reset these cards, so give me a second. Alright, so the last two cards that I left out are, three cards that I left out are the Strength card, the Space of the Crown, the Space of the Id, and the Space of the Ego. Why? Because when it comes up to transcendence, right? When it comes up to your aspiration, and the last part of my reading, there's a part I call the star stream. Now, what can you do physically to improve your life? When it comes up to the star stream, this has to do with your experimentation, your expression, your integration, and your transcendence to the aspiration in general. But your aspiration powers this whole process. And if it's not strong enough, if your why is not strong enough, it won't get you there. You gotta be strong enough. You gotta really remember why you came here, or really listen to your spirit enough and figure out why you came here. But this is the energy that's in the ability to understand the spirit. That is the energy. That's the one that's controlling that process. Let me shuffle this real quick. Oh. So first up, we have the goal of the star stream is to find your star power. Now, in order to do that, you have to find out what you're experimenting and what the result of the experiment is. Because as you do it, you learn yourself, you know. But here's where we go with it. And you pluck a card or two for your experimentation. So you have the Devil and the Nine of Wands when it comes up to what you can experiment with around you. Yeah. So somebody is really petty. Somebody is really petty. Or petty energy really gets to you to the point that you can't think about anything. You can't even focus hard enough because you're stuck on the petty energy, regardless if it's being thrown towards you or you're pushing it out. You can't grow. And yeah. It says evil fatality. Like, wow. Something is dead and it's about to be reborn. But you see this person right here, the Nine of Wands, he got the bandages on and it was tough, but you're about to finish. So whatever you're trying to figure out about how to, okay, let me explain it this way. Whatever you are doing right now, when it comes into your process and your soul, You have the strength, yeah. But it takes some time to learn that level of your strength. Do you understand that? So the stronger you are, the greater you see yourself. The greater you see yourself, the more time it takes for you to know yourself. So you could have been very powerful spirit coming down here to be in that body that you are in right now. You could be a starseed, you can be anything, right? So earth angel, you know how they say, it takes time to learn that earth angel. It takes time to learn what the starseed can actually plant. You know what I mean? Because it's meant to create balance in this world. And should you do anything prematurely, you will only throw us off. So, yeah. This is what that's giving me right now. So the 9 of Wands says, signifies strength in opposition. If attacked, he will meet the onslaught boldly. If attacked, he will meet the onslaught boldly. If you fail, you would not be afraid. Don't be afraid to try again. It took the Ford company up to the letter T, and I think then some, in order to get to the actual model. So it took them so many failed attempts, but there's no such thing as failure. It's only something that doesn't work this time. Now it's a new thing that doesn't work. Now you can put it away. You don't have to do that no more because it doesn't work. It's now a new thing that doesn't work. It's not failure. It's now a new thing that doesn't work that you can put away and call it information. It's not failure. It's just a place you won't go no more because you learn your lesson from it. It's not failure. It's a person or type of energy in people that you would never be around anymore. You would honestly run away from because that's just not what you're there for no more. It's a boundary that you created around yourself so that energy doesn't come towards you. It's like I'm getting professional. A professional at experimentation. It's just like, you know how in the cartoons that scientist lab would blow up and then you just see them come out with a smile on their face? I found it. That's you. That's your amount of fearlessness when it comes up to you finding out things for yourself. Fearless. Oh, what is this? Let me just use it. I found out. Look what I found out, guys. I'm using this now. Fearless. Whatever you experiment with, be more fearless. Try to be more fearless. Don't be afraid to show it. Right? So, this is all in using what you came here with, not what other people think that you can do, right? Going towards the water, let's see what we can do. Before I move on, air and earth are balanced, right? I mean, are opposites. So that there is a certain kind of balance that's happening right here. But let's see what's going on with it. The devil is an earth card, so that's great. Earth and fire here. Fire is neutral to this process because until you actually find out what's you're supposed to be using, it will only be failure. You know what I mean? So this is why fire doesn't work here, but it's also a good sign or something that you can hear to help you along. Don't quit. Don't quit at all. Don't quit on yourself. Alright. One card. The Empress. So, Empress is also an Earth card. But it has to do... I want to say how well-rounded you are. That's what the card has to do with me. But let's see what the Empress says. Earth should not be here. Should not be here. Earth. Okay. If there's a pressure coming down here, it's going to come out of a valve, right? If the valve is small, the pressure is going to be higher. If it's wider, the pressure is going to be lower. So this Empress right now is giving me good flow. Good flow. A good flow of expression. a good way to express yourself to the person, a good way to hear spirit, something that you do that definitely gets an answer from God, a way you pamper yourself, a way you serve yourself, right? It could be so many different types of ways, but a way you do that to connect your emotions to your body, meaning like your spirit to your body. I can keep going on with that example, but so I hope you get it. And I remember the Emperor was over here before. So, the Empress, fruitfulness, action, initiative, length of days, the unknown, clandestine, also difficulty, doubt, and ignorance. And ignorance to what? I see how it can be doubt, but ignorance to what? Ignorance to the emotional side of things and turning it into desire. So if you put water in a stream, it's going to keep running downstream. So the Empress is the water around the stream. You feel me? It's going to just push it that way. I don't care about it. It's going over there. It's going to get flushed out into the ocean. I don't care. It's going to go over here. I don't care. Pushing something to the side might not be a good thing, but understand that it's not affecting you right now. You will have to deal with it later, but it does not affect you right now. So this is a strong defense against the emotions. But what does it have to do with your expression? A strong defense against your expression. And ignorance to your expression. Doubting that what you say will go through well with other people. Doubting that what you're creating doesn't have the effect that you dream about. Now, that was personal, but yeah. Of course, it's difficult for water to stream through something that's blocked. Yeah, it's giving me stagnancy with expression, and this is one of the problems. So, yeah. Alright. So, moving on to integration. Integration is of the fire element, right? Of the fire chakra, hold in the sack, right? On the Sephiroth. So, integration has to do with communication, relationships, value, and health, right? Those are the 4 pieces on that Sephiroth. Now, integrating what into your style of communication? Your style of healing yourself. Your style of, what you truly like. That's what gets you going. That's what, it's going to be changing right now. That's what we're going to be talking about right now. How do you change these things that you value and communicate with in this world to balance yourself out? Because we all know what addictions are, so we don't have to go there. If you have an addiction on something, it pulls you towards a certain way. Understand that. Forget anything that you know. An addiction pulls you towards a certain way. Mind expanding drugs expands your mind, but that means you take in more BS, right? So when you come down, you have all that condensed BS in you. Just imagine a balloon fills, and now you can put more in it, right? Maybe not a balloon is the right thing, but imagine a ball fills, and you could put more in it, right? As it gets bigger, you can put more in it. But as it gets more condensed, instead of it being so see-through, dusty, but dispersed, I think is the word. It's condensed. So, yeah, you expand and it feels good. It feels like you released something. Yeah, that addiction got you to a place where you can mentally say you have peace, right? But when you come down off of it, and this will get you going back up, because I can't take this. I want peace. I want peace. Right? Well, I hope you understand where I was going with that, because I felt too many triggers just now. when it comes up to vices and addictions, people have problems because who am I to say that you don't need that? There's a lesson in that too. Sometimes you have to be a part of that crew to learn how to save them, right? Not saying that anybody needs saving, but sometimes people who've been in the fire do better in fires than firemen, right? People who have been in house fires will do a better job if they're not scarred from it, being a fireman, because I've been here before. I was scarred by this before. I could have been scarred by this before. I'm safe, so I know it can happen again. People take things different ways. So let's move on with this integration and the Knight of Cups. So this is water in the fire area. So it's not any rhythm. Of course you can't get a rhythm because you're being ignorant to if it works or not. So why do something again if you think it's not working, right? That's pointless, right? It's just a waste of energy. But who are you to say that it's not working? Who are you? You are giving the best of you. It's working. You give the best of you to this world, it works. Somehow, some way, and God is going to give you back that energy 10-fold. So let's see what this Knight of Cups is saying. Arrival, approach, sometimes that of a messenger, advances, proposition, demeanor, invitation, incitement, right? Now, the Knights are in a place of, let me just say, on the Tree of Life, Tiferet. That's where the Knights come back up. I'm going to just leave it like that. In my other videos, you'll understand what I mean. Might as well explain it. When you look at a grid, and when you look at the numbers 1 through 14 in Tarot, right? You have 0 starting at the axis point. 1, Ace, this is the crown, Hokmah, Binah, Chesed, right? 4, Gabudah, 5, Tiferet, 6, Netzach, 7, Hod, 8, Yesod, 9, Malkut, 10. Coming back up, which is the actual page of the things, page, Knight, Queen, King, right? The page is on the reverse side of this, so it's like going back down the mountain, right? You do this mentally and you go back physically because now you have everything you need. So that's what 10s are about, having everything you need to go on the physical journey. What was I just saying? The Knight is where the 6s are. Coming back down the pages is where the 10s are. So it's page, Knights, Queens at Bina, Kings at Hokmah. So Knights is what I was fixed at, and that's what I'm thinking about. Hopefully that helps. Hopefully, if you like that, what I just showed you, there's more where that came from. That I threw that to the side. It seemed like I threw it to the side almost. I ain't mean to disrespect the people like that. But I threw it to the side because I have so much more to put into this app that is going to be ridiculous. Everything I'm saying, I won't need to say because it would be there, almost like a game. And that's what I'm looking for, right? How about we have fun with our pain? Right. Make it easier. If it was fun to go through this, would we do it? I would do it. So the Knight of Cups, right, has to do with beauty. And what it means, arrival, approach, sometimes out of a messenger, advances, proposition, demeanor, invitation, incitement, right? So this invitation is you're invited to do something. You're asked to start something, but you don't do it. Then that's an emotional quality. Maybe I'm gonna go with my mind and figure these things out and not actually do it and get real results. You're getting mental results without any actions. So it's like you're playing yourself, not knowing the truth of what's gonna happen. So thinking it's not gonna work and doing it, and it might be working, but you stop. And this is the Knight of Cups. This just goes back to the water. So I guess Yeah, like I said, that water cannot block the fire. You don't have any movement. You don't have your soul in control. You have your emotions in control. It's too much spiritual energy is what I got just now. So, my other phone died, so I had to continue this real quick. I hope I got through the Knight of Cups though. So the last one is transcendence, which gets you to your aspiration. You have to transcend the rhythm. It has to become a part of you. It has to become so much a part of you that you don't even think about it. It has to become like your habit. A part of your character, almost, right? And since it's a part of you, you get to create something new, right? Now it's just you and you're creating. So I hope you understand where that goes. That it goes, this process becomes you, and then you become a new person that can create something newer. Oh, that makes sense. Yeah. Lastly is the air, which is transcendence. This has to do with the right to love. The objective is bliss. What does that mean? Okay. So, Queen of Cups. And I mentioned this sword too. Wow. Okay. I literally just looked at this Queen of Cups and I noticed how it looks like a robot. Almost like robotic emotions under control. It looked like a robot with hands on each side. But those are not hands. On, what is it called? The Ark of the Covenant? Okay. On the Ark of the Covenant, right? The Ark of the Covenant has these two angels on each side. In the middle of them is supposed to be some arcing electricity that was supposed to go through it. I don't know why. If that's significant for you, you probably like Egyptian history, right? Robotic emotion was coming out. But let's see what the Queen of Cups to the Eight of Swords mean for your transcendence. And this has to do with your bliss, so let's see. Good, fair woman, honest, devoted, who will do service to the current, loving intelligence, and hence the gift of vision, success, happiness, pleasure, also wisdom, virtue, right? Success, happiness, pleasure, wisdom, and virtue. Now, a loving intelligence. And that's what that robot was for, right? A loving intelligence. You know, it's like funneling all the energy, all the emotional energy. Or, this is handling your emotions. Oh, no. This is absolutely not handling your emotions. Because look all around you. There's nothing but water at her feet. And she's in the middle of somewhere. Not where she needs to be. She's not in a kingdom at all. And this seat, she's not in the kingdom. She's not where she needs to be. Being robotic with your emotions, saying like this is gonna give me this amount of love, or this does this amount of pleasure for me. You're limiting God. Like you're limiting what it actually is. Assuming that God doesn't have something up his sleeve. Pushing everything up to the side. Choosing not to be emotional, but strategic though. Yes, it can help you. But this is the place of polarity, not emotions. Emotions leave you all over the place. Polarity is to a single point. Right. So going from there to the Eight of Swords. Bad news. Violent chagrin. Violent chagrin. Crisis. Censure. Power in trammels. Conflict. Calumny. Also sickness. Now, it's like being put on a chopping block, not being afraid to fight the whole kingdom, the world, right? Not being afraid to fight the world. Instead of having robotic emotions, you putting your emotions in here, and that's it. You keep looking at this. You keep looking at, oh, my little piece of joy, right? You said, I'm gonna put all my emotions out on this world. You see how this water's here? And I'm not gonna be afraid to see. I'm gonna close my eyes. You can wrap me up. It don't matter. You can tie my hands behind my back. I still will be myself. So you've come into a strength of who you are. You're coming to that fearlessness of what? Oh, the absence of grief. It's total love. With the absence of grief, it allows God to move in your life, because all he can do is love. Grief stops the love. I don't want to do this because when I did that last time, but God is asking you to do this for your abundance. So grief, I don't want to do this because consequences. Not being afraid of the consequences. Yeah. Alright, so going down the line and understanding what this has done for you. When these two energies are in balance, something happens, and that is this space over here. This space is your superconscious. Light plus dark equals the superconscious, right? It's the united energy of it all. It's also like the consciousness of the place where you need to go. Like somebody's at the end of the road calling you, hey, come this way, right? Like you got somebody calling you from the end of the finish line, like, hey, come this way. That's your superconscious. Here, hot, cold, hot. That's your superconscious. Just doing that all day with you, right? So, I'm going to be presenting the energy or what your superconscious can do. The thing, your gift. It's almost like your spiritual fingerprint. The gift that God gave you that nobody else has. Hands down, nobody has it. It don't matter where you are, who you are, and what you're doing. Bill Gates does not have this, and you do. Name anybody. They don't have it, and you do. There's something that you do that your superconscious can do. And that's what I'm going to draw a card for. It's your superpower in this world. The Four of Swords came down. If you achieve total union, this is what's coming towards you. If you achieve balance and then union with yourself or with the other party, right? Other person. Significant other. Okay. So, 3 of Cups. This is a fire card, and it's almost like this is a pot, and you're warming up this area, this location, and this becomes steam. That's eventually, or you can call it clouds, right? It's going to become clouds. You're giving it up to God, allowing it to evaporate, allowing it to run its course, right? Not being afraid of it being empty. It's always going to be full. That's what it's giving me right now, but let's see what it says. Not afraid. I don't know why that's that like that. Just not afraid. Alright, so your superpower has to do with this. The conclusion of any matter. Plenty, perfection, merriment, happiness, victory, fulfillment, solace, and healing. So if anyone, I'll do it again, because sometimes you need a second one. What you can do better, I'm going to say it, better than anybody else around you, because there's trillions and trillions of people, let's just say that, right? What you can do better than anybody else around you has to do with abundance of things, right? Having a lot of something. You can manipulate something that's 1 into 1,000, right? That's one of your gifts. Perfection. Now, this has to do with rhythm. If you perfect something, perfection is logical. So, you have a mind that can polarize a certain kind of energy around you. What does that mean? Let's just say you have an abundance of negativity coming towards you. Your skill, let's just say somebody has an abundance of negativity coming towards them. Your skill if it's not you, is to condense that energy into something you can use. Right. So that's what the perfection of it. Merriment, you gotta understand the peace, the happiness, the victory. Victory, justice, right? Justice and victory for me come hand in hand. Because it's the sense of it, it's like the energy of it. Like, you get justice when that person goes to jail that did something bad to you, right? You get justice when, no, that was a good enough example. You understand that? That feeling that you get when you get in your way rightfully. Not through no pettiness, not through ignorance, the right way. When you get it through the right way, when it's for you, nobody can take it from you. Nobody can take it. You can't even give it away. It's just justice. You can't even do nothing. Or fulfillment and solace and healing. Now, healing comes in different forms. You know, you can heal somebody's physical world or mental world. You can heal somebody's relationship. You can point somebody on the right, like, the way. You can point somebody in the right direction. So, if these gifts, if these hints helped you at all, I'm very glad. So, I'm glad you can be here with me. This concludes the end of this reading. This was a reading for the divine masculine versus the divine feminine. But understand that's with yourself in general. So, as you balance yourself, everything will come towards you because God can move in your life. The circuits are clear. The points and the perspectives are clear in your mind. So anytime that God gives you an idea, it won't be blocked by the pain in your life. That's what this battle is about. This divine feminine, divine masculine battle that's going on right now. So if this helps you relieve some of that energy, I'm glad. Until next time, it's KyFy. Peace.